Hello, traders. Okay, so today, Wednesday, new comic book day. So I'm going to start doing these hopefully every Wednesday. Just not going to go down a whole list of what all books are out there. You can go to Bueller's page for that. He does a very comprehensive list. Does it better than anybody out there. Obviously, better than I would. But I will give a rundown of what I picked up, some spec books I picked up, my personal books that I picked up, some stuff that I just think look cool and will sell when I get them into the shop. So, real quick, we'll start with the indies. Image First, Ice Cream Man, #1. I haven't started this one yet. I hear a lot of fantastic news or fantastic reviews about the series, so I'm gonna dive in with this. It's an Image First, which is the Image version of your dollar books. DC and Marvel both have those as well, and there's a lot of great titles that you can get the first issue of some real popular stuff that otherwise is going to cost you a pretty penny to get a hold of. So for $1, you can see if you're interested, and then at that point, you can invest. So we're going to give that one a read. Also, Ice Cream Man issue 20, the Dr. Seuss issue, second printing. So, oh, the places we will go, or you will go, something along those lines. All my kids got one of those Dr. Seuss books when they graduated from their aunt. So this is the second printing. Who knows, they may go into a third printing on it. The Dr. Seuss stuff seems to be real popular with the title, so we'll see where they go. So those came out, were released today. Also have, continuing with the Joker War, Batman #98. We picked up all three covers, and we all know that I'm a big fan of these trade dress art covers. I love those. Didn't really care for this series when it first came out, but some of them really grown on me. I really like the Joker. I don't care much for the Harley. I like the Joker and the designer one with the red background. That one's really cool. And this one's been pretty sharp. And there's a new one next week on the Wonder Woman cover that I'm going to have to pick up. They're introducing some new characters and storylines, both Wonder Woman and Superman. So something to keep an eye out for next week, of course. For Deceased Dead Planet, I'm not sure who did that one. I was thinking it was a Matina, but it's not. But I really like that cover. Real big fan of this one. That's the movie variant cover for Deceased 3. So pick those up. Those will sell pretty well. A series that I'm actually really considering diving into. A buddy of mine really into Batman the animated series. Never was a big fan of that. But Batman the animated series, The Adventures Continue, has been real hot. We got both covers on that one. I love that one. That one's pretty sharp. So I may be changing things up and getting into that. So we'll see. One thing that I do is I pick up the dollar books to get them in the hands of kids that are just getting into the hobby, and they can get some real classic Marvel, DC, and Image books that without having to break the bank. And also pick them up for reader copies for myself, because I don't want to be opening up, my Hulk 181 or, the high dollar books. So this week we've got X-Men. Not sure. Marvel Comics Presents Wolverine. Now that was I believe the first Weapon X cover, Weapon X book. Then the X Factor. I don't know what numbers these are reprints of, but they've done a really good job lately of putting the actual cover swipe from the original on there. so you can compare them. My X-Men and Mutant titles aren't really all that fantastic as far as my personal collection. I didn't follow that stuff as heavily as I did other characters. So continuing on with Marvel, we've got Black Widow #1. We picked up, and this is the retailer incentive cover. I want to say these were limited to like 7,000, something like that. So I managed to grab one of those. Some real nice covers on the Black Widow #1. There were quite a few variants on her book. There's a lot of hype around these when it was first announced, 6 months ago before the lockdown and everything, but it's a lot of hype that has died now. And so unfortunately, I may be stuck with a few copies of that. I had a pre-order with quite a few copies of this A cover, and the customer has since backed out, so I'm sitting on a bunch of those. The moral of that story is you pre-order from your local comic book shop, make sure you pick them up. I mean, our margins on these are so low to begin with that if you don't, then that really is going to hurt the shop. I don't deal in as high numbers as my buddy Dave or Greg up at the comic shops, so I don't have to worry. My margins aren't as good as theirs either. But when you're dealing in those high volumes, and make sure that if you've committed to getting those books, make sure that you pick them up or prepay if you have to, just to keep yourself honest. It's key. So the last ones, I just picked up the Zombies Resurrection books. We got a few of these variant covers on there, and I really like that one. I'm not a big fan of the black and white sketch ones. I like now that they're adding a splash of colors. The Comic Tom exclusive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming out in next month's Mystery No Call box is like that. It's very cool. And then this one, I don't know why, I've never been a huge Phoenix fan, but I just really love that one. And just for the cover art alone, there's a good chance that's going to be the one that's going to head to the personal collection. And then picked up some books for the personal collection. Oh, this isn't one, but grabbed this guy too, Miles Morales. I don't know why. I know this is an incentive variant, but for some reason I just think that's going to be a hot book to have, so I grabbed that one. We'll set that aside and see where it goes. New title that I'm going to start in on. Ravencroft 4 came out today, and I was lucky enough that Greg still had all the back issues, so at Black Cat Comics, so I grabbed those. So that gives me a complete run so far of Ravencroft, and I'm going to sit on that one and read it and see what we think. This has got to be my cover of the week. I just love that one. I don't even read Shazam. I just picked it up because that is probably the best superhero cover that I have seen in a very, very long time. Sorry about the glare there. And then a couple indies that I picked up. We only find them when they're dead. I saw this one on both Bueller, Comics with Bueller and Everything Comics on their YouTubes. So we're going to give that one a shot and see if we like that. And another one that they were talking about, Spy Island. It's the first Dark Horse book that's been published in quite a while. So, we're gonna see how that's going. And it seems pretty interesting. Something about an island on the edge of the Bermuda Triangle, and so we'll give that a run around. Issues #1 I have a new Doctor Who series. Picked those up for the personal collection. I don't read Doctor Who. I am not as big of a Whovian as my daughters, but as this is a comic book collection that's been handed down through the family, I'm going to include those so that they get those as well. Another new series that just hit, and we're going to give this a try. I love the TV show. I'm a big Star Trek fan, a big Trekkie from years and years past. The Orville, the 2-book limited series, and we're gonna dive into those and see what the Orville's about. I really like that. One of the best Star Trek, non-Star Trek series ever made. So we're gonna try that one out. And I'm super excited. I'm gonna get into this. I might actually even do a review on it. Hell's Mirror, IDW Star Trek. Obviously about the Mirror Universe. You got Khan in there in the mix, so that ought to be fun. It's a really cool one-shot. We're going to give that one a read. I'm pretty jazzed when I saw that one come out. Killer cover too. I wish they'd make variants for those, but I understand how many non-Trekkies there are out there as well. So that's what I picked up today at the comic book shop. Let us know what you got. Like and subscribe, and help us share, and let's have that conversation. Also, hit me back and let me know what you've been reading. All right, traders, you have a good one.